Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to tonight's live. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's day going? It's getting a little warm in here. I had a little jacket on. But welcome to the channel. If you're new, hi, I'm Tanya or TitaniumBuilt. Nice to meet you. If you're not new, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another live. I figured I'd come on. I wasn't going to, but I was like, maybe people are kind of sick of hearing the same old, and they'll want to kind of come over. I don't know. We'll see. Because I know a lot of people have been talking about Betty today because we talked about her earlier today. And it's like the gift that keeps on giving with that lady. So I wasn't sure. Sorry, excuse me. But hey, Catherine. Hey, Ladybug. Welcome in, guys. Hey, Mary Beth. Welcome in. Badger Witness. I saw that you emailed me tonight, and I totally forgot to check my email today because you said you emailed me. I'm so sorry. I will check that tomorrow. I don't know why I didn't check my email today, but I'm not good at checking my email, to tell you the truth, but I'm going to get better at that. That's should be my New Year's resolution. I mean, we're almost to we're almost there. I'll be probably bad till then. Just kidding. I'm going to try to be better. I will try. Hey, Sirius. Welcome in. Hey, Nash Native. I saw that you said your mother-in-law's surgery went well. That's amazing. That's amazing that they went in and they got what they needed and it didn't spread anymore. That's amazing. And Ashley's going to get in the shower. She'll be back. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you guys. 11 Summer Moon. You've been a member for 1 month. I love that. I love that. Thank you for being a member. And usually I'm on camera, but tonight I'm not going to be just because I'm looking a little crazy. I went down to the pool today because I normally will stop going to the pool even if it's open after Labor Day. I'm one of those people. I'm just usually if I had a pool, I'd probably close it. Actually, I don't know when I would close it, but usually you close the pools at Labor Day. That's when you go back to school. It's the unofficial end of summer. Sorry, my dog is moving around trying to get comfortable. You got it? Okay. So I usually don't go to the pool, but I decided you're going to regret it if you don't go down there and just soak up a little bit more summer, And I was the only one there and it was great. I loved it. So I'll be back going. We'll go again tomorrow. And I got in for a minute. It was nice. Your daughter closed hers a few days ago. Yeah. I mean, I probably would close mine around this time, but the weather here is tricky. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Southern Ohio, like Southwestern, I guess you call it. And it stays, I don't know if it's just stays warmer longer everywhere now, or if it's just here, but we normally stay in the 70s, 80s until the third week of September. And it was 88 today. So it was really warm. I was excited to, go down and just enjoy the pool while I could. Because I know I'd be regretting it. I regret it every year if I don't go. So I'm at least I got one last day in. Your town closed theirs on Labor Day. I think that's where I got it from when I was younger. We had a city pool. My mom didn't really take me to that very often. We went more to water parks and stuff. But whenever I could go there, I remember they always closed down after Labor Day. She just didn't like that pool because there were so many kids, and just, she was very weary about where I was. She didn't want me to get sick or get injured or anything. I don't know. I probably should have just had some bubble wrap on me. Ashley, I thought I saw that. Wow. I don't know why it's not coming up anymore, but it was up on my trending. There was also something about ducks in Ohio. People are hunting them. Right here. Okay. Haitian migrant goose hunting confirmed in Ohio. And this is literally a hop, skip, and a jump away from me. I don't know what these people are doing with these ducks, but they mad. I guess there was, it says audio obtained, and it has the place. It says of a call made to police on August 26th about a group of Haitian migrants, am I saying that right? Carrying geese in Springfield, Ohio. The media has been telling us this is all a lie. I'm like, what? And then all of a sudden, it's got like a report. I'm like, what's going on in Ohio? Like, I don't know what's going on over here, but Mary Beth, you weren't. Oh yeah, you weren't a member. You was a member. You just must have renewed. Well, welcome back, Mary Beth. I know it doesn't tell us like if people renew or if they buy it like like if they buy it. You know what I mean? Let us know about the debate too for everybody that's watching it. I thought about streaming it, but I'm not a political kind of gal, but I do like to hear what they have to say. I do like to hear what they have to say. So, Vincent's out there watching it right now. I was going to get the deets from him. And I did notice, I will say, I'm a straight down the middle kind of gal. If I like you, I like you. And just, that's it. But I will say, I used to make fun of Trump's hair a lot when I was a kid. His hair's starting to look better the older he gets. It's like he's finally got his wife is finally telling him, like, hey, we cannot do the full comb over. We got to fix it up a little. You have been a tier 2 member forever. You have. I thank you for that. What was this? I'm like, what was I don't even know what I was looking at there. But I figured we'd go over this article that came out and then we would watch the new podcast. So, Nancy Grace just came out with a new podcast today over the Idaho 4. And them changing the venue. So we kind of went over this last night, but we can go over it again. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I need to ask this. Is there anybody that doesn't know about the Idaho 4 case? I need to start asking that every once in a while. He was the comb over man. When I walked by the computer, I saw Vincent. He was watching it on the computer. I don't know why he was doing that. We have a huge TV right in front of him. But we use our devices. But I saw him when I walked by and I was like, wow. I was like, who gave him a haircut? He looks nice. So does Camellia. But I mean, I used to make fun of Trump a lot when I was a kid. I think it's because my parents did. If they could see him now, So this article is just going to go over the change of venue for Bryan Kohberger. He won the motion. I was actually kind of stunned that he won this motion for change of venue. I figured that they would keep it in Latah County. I figured the judge would stay the same, but it looks like they're going to change up a lot of things. So the judge is not going to be presiding over this case. I'm not sure, though, when the next judge will be taking over things. I'm not sure if that happens immediately after they, pronounce whatever or announce whatever county they're going to have it in, which is probably going to be Ada. But they said that no matter what, this trial was going to start on a specific date. They said we're doing trial. It's going to start no matter what. We'll see. We'll see. But it says a judge has agreed to move the trial of Bryan Kohberger, the man charged in the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students, to a different city. In an order dated Friday, Idaho's 2nd District Judge John C. Judge said he was concerned about Kohberger's ability to receive a fair trial at the Latah County Courthouse in Moscow, given extensive media coverage of the case as well as statements by public officials suggesting Kohberger's guilt. He also noted that the courthouse isn't big enough to accommodate the case and that the county sheriff's office doesn't have enough deputies to handle security. Well, that right there should let you know if you should have known that at the beginning. You know how many people you have that work in your office. I don't know why this went on for so long. If I was Kohberger, I'd be a little pissed. If you know what I mean, if you were a judge, and if you're looking over this docket, and I mean this is a huge case, and you're going, I don't think I have enough court staff, and I mean it shouldn't have taken Ann Taylor to bring this up for you to be like, okay, yeah, we should change the venue. He should have did this a long time ago. Yeah, that's what I figured, Ladybug. Yeah, everything will go to the new judge. It's just weird because then they're gonna have to shift they'll have to ship Kohberger down there after they announce the new judge, I'm assuming then, right? Everything will be paused. Okay, because they threw out a bunch of documents. They did, remember they put out the documents for, like, the death penalty and everything to reject it, get it off of there. And I saw that and I was like, "Man, Judge John Judge is probably not gonna wanna read through that," but I don't think he's gonna have to. I think that might be for the next attorney because it was, like, the 5th, all of that was put in, and then on the 6th, he was like, "I'm out." I'm like, "Ooh, how about that?" But the courthouse isn't big. It's not big enough to accommodate even JLR and his personality. Yeah, really. I mean, it's a small courthouse. I mean, we've heard that from a lot of people, and I know a lot of people said that they wanna go and they wanna see this in person. The I think the biggest downfall, downside of this is just that the families have to uproot their whole lives, um, and they didn't ask for this. I mean, their kids didn't ask for this, and they sure as hell didn't ask for this, so that's just that's pretty sad that they have to do that. It's undisputed that there have been significant media coverage in this case throughout the state and nationally, Judge wrote. While some of the coverage has been neutral reporting of the court proceedings, much of the coverage has been sensationalized and prejudicial to Kohberger. Kohberger's defense team sought the change of venue, saying strong emotions in the close-knit community and constant news coverage will make it impossible to find an impartial jury in the small university town where the killings occurred. Prosecutors argued that any problems with potential bias could be resolved by simply calling a larger pool of potential jurors and questioning them carefully. Kohberger, a former criminal justice student at Washington State University, and that's what I got my bachelor's in, is criminal justice, which is across the line in Pullman, faces 4 counts of M in the deaths of Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonzalez. The 4 University of Idaho students were killed sometime in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022 in a rental house near the campus. Police arrested Kohberger 6 weeks later at his parents' home in Pennsylvania, where he was spending winter break. The killing stunned students at both universities and left the small city of Moscow deeply shaken. The case also spurred a flurry of news coverage, much of which Kohberger's defense team says was inflammatory and left the community strongly biased against their client. Earlier this year, Kohberger's attorney, Ann Taylor, argued in court that prosecutors were withholding information from the defense team, claiming that Latah County prosecutors have not provided a full video that allegedly shows Kohberger's vehicle by the residence where the 4 students were killed. Taylor said that the defense has only received parts of the video, which is described in the probable cause affidavit that was used to arrest Kohberger, and said the video did not have sound. We don't need sound. We don't need sound. Who said we need sound? No, you see his vehicle and you see his little head or something. See his vehicle, that's enough. But then you see his head or something, face. I don't know. Yeah, no. We don't need sound. If the judge knew Latah County could not handle this trial for safety reasons, not enough court clerks, logistics, and lacking space, why did we waste over a year in a county he knew was not going to handle the trial? It says the family. It doesn't even say them, like, it just says the family. Like, I guess we're supposed to know, but the family said Monday, criticizing several other decisions judge had made throughout the pretrial process. The Gonzalez family said in the spring that they were frustrated by how long it has taken the case to progress through the judicial system. This case is turning into a hamster wheel of emotions, hearings, and delayed decisions, the family said in a statement. Oh, I guess that was it. And we did read their newest statement the other day, yesterday, on the channel. We read their statements. Okay, so I'm going to play the podcast here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Hey, Yvonne, I like your picture. It's bright, pretty. Lenore, you got to eat more than a bagel. You sound like me. You sound exactly like me. Bagel will do. What did I eat? What? Oh, Vincent brought me a chicken sandwich home. I thought that was very nice of him. Can I brag for just one second? Like, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I got breakfast in bed. I was like, that's what's up. That's what's up. I was so excited about that. I didn't know he was going to do that. That was such a surprise. I said, man, I'm lucky. Some lucky person, you know? I'm really lucky. Hey, Aries, what's up? When you understand the power you possess by declaring it daily, little by little, you begin to create a life of power. Ooh, I like that. I like your sayings. Your quotes are good. So yeah, I'm going to read up more about this geese thing in Ohio too, because I like the geese. We don't have any geese where I live. We used to have one little guy, one little white guy, one little white duck. He was only one, and someone heard him. I think, I don't know. I tried to help him, but then he was just gone one day. His name was George. So if someone's messing with the birds like 20 minutes away from me, 25 minutes away from me, that's weird. Like that worries me. Like, what are we doing out here? What are we doing with life? I don't know. So Nancy's going to go over the venue change, and she's going to go over what they argued, and yeah, let's just listen to what they got to say. And they're also going to talk about, the widespread media coverage of this case. Now, I wonder if Nancy's going to have anything to do with comment on about that. Like, I would like to know. I'm curious. Let me see if I can. I usually have it opened in a different way. They must have updated this. Oh, look up here at the top. Okay. I was like, how do I make it go fast forward? Okay, never mind. Oh my gosh. Okay. Sorry, guys. If you guys don't mind just hitting the like button, it really helps the channel. Thank you, guys. Let me fast forward through this. Hello, Nancy. Let me see if she'll play. And then I'll share the tab. Actually, let me just do this one. And then I'll put up overlays too, so that it's like, you have something to look at. Okay, that's weird. It's like not playing. Weird. Okay. It was just playing and then it stopped playing. I'm just trying to see if it'll play before I share the window, but maybe. This is so weird. Okay. Let's go to it again. Oh, okay. See, I just heard it. This is weird. Sorry about that, guys. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to exit out of it and then go back in. It's just weird. Well, maybe we'll watch this. This is so weird to me. I don't know. I don't know if I'm hitting it too many times, I'm just hitting the play button too many times. Because you guys can't hear that. I know you can't. Okay. This is weird. I'm going to share with you. Let's see if I can play it through. Like a different. Like My Heart or something, or I Heart. Let's see. I think it's something with my computer. Oh. Okay, it worked over here.
And if you're
now it's working over there. Okay, I'm getting confused. Okay. I restarted my computer like yesterday. It should be fine. Shouldn't have paused it. See how it's like just spinning? I feel like if I restarted my computer, that would help. I am so sorry, guys. It was like
with Nancy Grace. A shock ruling. Bryan Kohberger charged in 4 murders of beautiful Idaho students dead in their beds. His murder trial has been moved after fear of threats. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
Bryan Kohberger's defense files for a trial venue change, citing extensive ongoing and inflammatory publicity. Will the motion be successful?
In a bombshell shock ruling, the Kohberger trial will be moved. The judge in this case, his last name is Judge, has decided that based on alleged threats, which were developed during a defense poll of potential jurors, the trial should be moved. The judge also cites the fact that a larger courthouse may be more appropriate. Latah County has a population of around 40,000 people. Not so in a nearby county of Ada, population about 500,000. But here's the catch. Be careful what you wish for. You may surely get it. The defense has asked for a venue change. They've gotten a venue change, but that's like having a tiger by the tail. You can't hold on and you can't let go. What are you going to do? You asked for it, you got it. There's no reversal on that now, but they don't get to pick the jurisdiction. For all we know, they could go to an even more conservative jurisdiction. Now, what does that mean? I don't mean how they vote in an election. I mean how they feel and approach violent crime charges. Also, we've got a clue by saying that the courthouse may be too small in Latah County. That could indicate one of the few jurisdictions where there is a much larger courthouse. Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. But first, listen to this.
In pushing to have his trial moved out of Latah County, Idaho, Bryan Kohberger's defense team says he will be lynched and riots will erupt if he is acquitted of the murders of 4 college students in the same town where the murders occurred. Kohberger's team argues he would be subjected to mob mentality and cites alleged threats from local residents that they would burn down the courthouse if he is acquitted.
I want to make it very clear. There is no lynch
crazy.
mob. There's no one circling the courthouse or the jail with pitchforks and torches. That's not happening. Where did these alleged threats originate? Listen.
Bryan Kohberger's defense team conducted a phone survey of hundreds of potential jurors in Latah County, asking them multiple questions about their knowledge of the case. According to the defense team, there is a bias against Kohberger revealed in answers to questions such as, what would happen if Kohberger is not convicted? Potential jurors in Latah County answered that question with, they'd burn the courthouse down. Outrage would be a mild description. They would probably find him and kill him. And there would likely be a riot, and he wouldn't last long outside because someone would do the good old boy justice. And finally, riots. Parents would take care of him.
Now that was elicited, those comments were elicited by the defense in a poll that they did with potential jurors. Now, what does that mean? Sometimes you got to read the tea leaves. What does it all mean? The writing on the wall, so to speak. The defense also mentioned another jurisdiction. Listen.
The Kohberger defense team that claims their survey shows a bias against Kohberger in Latah County suggests something different may happen in Ada County, where prospective jurors offered up very different responses to the same questions. Where prospective Latah County jurors expect riots to occur, Ada County residents seem to think, quote, they would go on with life as always. Another prospective juror says, quote, I think they would take it well. Bryan Kohberger's defense team also points to the recent cases of Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, who had their trials moved from Fremont County to Ada County due to publicity.
And in the cases of cult mom Lori Vallow and her prophet husband, Chad Daybell, he gets the DP. She does not. So what does that mean? What does that mean for Kohberger? Again, joining me in All-Star Panel to make sense of what we know right now, but straight out to Howard Bloom.
Oh, there he is.
B-L-U-M, pronounced Bloom, like the flower, author of a hit book, When the Night Comes Falling, a Requiem for the Idaho student murders. Howard, thank you for being with us.
What have I been calling them?
Of them getting a change of venue? The defense gets a change of venue. And I just want to tell you one more thing. Let me set you up.
Have I been calling him Howard Bloom? Howard Blum?
Many people
Bloom?
are claiming,
I don't know what I've been calling him.
the defendant gets everything he wants. This is wrong. Can I tell you something? It's going to be extremely onerous for the state to prove its case in another jurisdiction. However, when there is a conviction, and I predict there will be a conviction, everyone who complained about the venue change will thank Judge, because that's one less thing for the defense to bring up on appeal. And that's a very volatile issue on appeal, okay? Because the appellate court has to take the facts as given them by the lawyers. They're not a fact finder. So they have to just basically read transcripts. So they have to discern, should there have been a venue change based on the transcripts, everything the defense said at that motions hearing. So as painful as it is, I think the judge was correct, Howard Bloom.
I agree. He really had no choice. This is a death penalty case. It's going to come up for appeal. He had to make sure that there was one less area for them to appeal about. What was so interesting to me, though, was that the prosecution really didn't challenge the authorities, the experts that were brought forward by the defense. They never did. Numbers were thrown at the judge. 68% of the people in one county thought he was guilty, 67 in another county thought he was guilty. Why didn't the defense, the prosecution rather, say, let's look at those numbers, let's look how they did the math? They never really did the hard work. And the key issue here is not really moving the case. That, I think, was inevitable. But the real issue is, as you referred to earlier, Judge is going to be leaving. That brings in a whole new ballgame, a whole new judge who will look at discovery motions, who will try to have to catch up on the information. It means perhaps even more delays of the trial.
Well, what happened in the hearing? In the hearing, did the judge make any allusion to the fact he would no longer be on the case?
In his ruling, and in his written ruling, he put in language that says the decision is going to be decided by the administration of the Supreme Court of Idaho. That tacitly implies that the decision will be made that he is leaving the case and that a new judge will be brought in. That seems to be a certainty.
Howard Bloom, you're right. In the language the judge used to grant the change of venue, he did not include language specifically asking or stating he would stay on the case. That would be expected. That didn't happen, so we're going to have a whole new judge. Guys, joining me in All-Star Panel to figure out what this means for the trial that we now know is going forward. we think is going forward next summer. Listen.
The Kohberger defense team that claims their survey shows a bias against Kohberger in Latah County suggests something different may happen in Ada County, where prospective jurors offered up very different responses to the same questions. Where prospective Latah County jurors expect riots to occur, Ada County residents seem to think, quote, they would go on with life as always. Another prospective juror says, quote, I think they would take it well. Bryan Kohberger's defense team also points to the recent cases of Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell, who had their trials moved from Fremont County to Ada County due to publicity.
Straight out to Stephanie Pitcher, a defense attorney, former felony prosecutor, and she is with Parker and McConkel. Stephanie, thank you for being with us. We've seen a lot of venue changes in high-profile cases, but what in reality does this mean? What can you tell us about Ada County? Now, just because the defense brings up Ada County and its motions does not mean that's where the trial is going to be. The Idaho Supreme Court will make that decision in its wisdom. But what about Ada County?
The change of venue, we still don't know where this is going to go. It's up to the Supreme Court to make that decision. But I think the defense team is looking at Ada County as a possibility just due to the nature of the size of that county. There are many more prospective jurors that could join and weigh in. These same jurors aren't going to have the same bias that the defense team argues is present in Moscow. And so I think Ada County is at the top of people's minds simply due to the size.
Moscow, yes, you're right. According to the last census, they were at about 39,000. And Ada was about 500,000. Of course, we also have heard discussions of Boise as well, Stephanie Pitcher. What do you make of that? And in your experience of trying cases, how difficult is it? Of course, the state is the one that bears the burden, so it's much harder on the state. What do you make of that? Boise.
Boise, yes, certainly Boise is a possibility. I think that the outcome ultimately is going to be the same. We saw this with the Chad and Lori Vallow cases as well. There was a change of venue. They went into Ada County, a much larger population of jurors. I think that the defense team is crossing their T's and dotting their I's. These are things that they need to move on behalf of their client so that they don't see any ineffective assistance of counsel, so that they give him a strong defense. But ultimately, I think that the outcome is going to be the same regardless of where it's moved.
Joining us, Dr. Bethany Marshall, renowned psychoanalyst, joining us out of LA, author of Deal Breaker. You can see her on Peacock as well. She's at drbethanymarshall.com. Dr. Bethany, I understand why various family members are saying this is unfair, that he always gets everything he wants. He has been getting everything he wants in a legal manner of speaking, but that is to ensure the trial process and to ensure that a conviction is held. I mean,
That's right.
This wasn't granted and then there was the conviction, this would be a huge avenue of appeal, but it doesn't feel that way at the time for family members.
No, Nancy, if they were in my office, I would do something called psychoeducation. That's where I would educate them about the fact that going through a long, prolonged court proceeding can feel victimizing or re-traumatizing. At the same time, I would educate them about the justice system.
What did you just say about traumatizing?
The legal system often re-traumatizes the victims. They have to hear the same stories again and again. The outcome is dependent on jurors and a judge. They have to think, feel, eat, sleep. Bryan Kohberger for months and perhaps even years, and this is going to make them feel re-traumatized. And so I would try to educate them about the criminal justice system and the fact that these delays are actually in order to meet their needs, to meet the needs of the victim, to find justice for their children. Because at this point, it doesn't seem that anybody's educating them in the same way you are, Nancy. You're explaining to all of us that dragging this out, which is how they're going to experience it, actually ensures a conviction. It doesn't sound like they really know that.
The case is now going to be tried next summer. Are they talking about summer 25 or summer 26 by next summer?
They are talking
25.
about summer 25, but that's just what they're talking about now. Once there is a new judge on the case,
Shut up,
everything
Blum.
can be relooked at again. We're really starting from scratch. What's also
He
really
said that nothing will
interesting, I think,
change. That's
is
what
the
Judge said.
can
We'll
rule on
see.
discovery information. What the defense really wants, more than a change of venue, I believe, is to get more discovery information. They want to see how this sausage was put together, how this case was made.
What?
They've been complaining they really don't understand how the authorities got onto Kohberger. The key to
How the
that is
sausage
the
was put
genetic
together.
information. They want to see through the discovery how the FBI cracked the genetic investigation. Judge has not given them sufficient information. Perhaps they believe a new judge will. That's the key issue here, I think.
Okay, hold on right there, Bloom. Hold on right there.
I'm holding.
The judge has given them sufficient information, but I think that they will get even more data. It's really simple how the LE in the area, law enforcement, got on to Kohberger. And it really, at the outset, had nothing to do with DNA analysis. Joining me, Chris McDonough, director of the Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, around 300 homicides under his belt, and host of the Interview Room on YouTube. Chris, thank you for being with us. You and I have both spent a lot of time in Moscow. It's a very small and very tight-knit community. It is a college community, which many people consider to be liberal. Don't know if that's always true. But that said, it all started when Kohberger was driving his car. Oh, yes, good times. There we are outside the crime scene. When Kohberger drove his car past a little gas station at about 4 a.m., and a clerk pulled it and saw an Elantra, but at the very outset, an Elantra was mentioned. And it's my understanding, Chris McDonough, that the campus security over where Kohberger, was studying to get his PhD, they pulled everybody that had an Elantra, and his name came up. That's how it all started, with his car.
Yeah, well, 100%, Nancy. I mean, it was great. Initial gumshoe, police work where, they had a vehicle, they had phone pings of variety, within that area. They hadn't identified a phone yet initially, but they had a vehicle on video coming up that street from that one house on the corner, I would submit, and still. And all of a sudden they started looking for this car, and lo and behold, a young patrol officer over at the Western University over there in Washington pulls up this guy's car and goes, "Hey, wait a minute, we got one right here," and they were off to the races.
The judge officially
right to a fair trial is denied. And believes in Mr. Kohberger.
2025, more than 2.5 years after the stabbing deaths of 4 Idaho students.
Our defense team firmly, and I mean firmly, believes in Mr. Kohberger's innocence. And right now he's being held to have a trial in a county that believes that he is guilty. If you deny a change of venue, Mr. Kohberger's constitutional right to a fair trial is denied.
In the last hours, the judge in this case, presiding over the Kohberger quadruple murder case, has moved venue. Whole new courthouse, whole new judge, all new rulings. We'll see where that lands the defense. But let's just get a reality check. What is this case all about? Before we get mired down in legal minutia, what's it all about? Joseph Scott Morgan joining me, professor of forensics, Jacksonville State University, author of Blood Beneath My Feet, and star of a hit new series podcast, Body Bags with Joseph Scott Morgan. Joseph Scott, I think this a lot when I was trying cases, and now I look at everybody all dressed to the nines, perfectly groomed in court, the defendant flanked by his lawyers, both counsel tables covered in documents and legal research and exhibits. and all the media sitting there quietly taking notes. Everything is so pristine and so perfect, ain't it? But that is not what this case is about. This case is about these 4 victims that were brutally murdered, unarmed, many of them in their own beds at the witching hour between 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. What happened to these 4 beautiful Idaho students?
Sharp force injuries, multiple of them on probably all 4 victims, Nancy. And we're talking about an individual that moved, whoever did this attack moved between several floors while they were perpetrating this. And there would not be a pristine environment. You're talking about probably a super saturated area involving blood that would have been adjacent to the bodies, on the bodies. And isn't that the contrast? You know, you talk about this kind of pristine courtroom environment, and then they're going to introduce these images into the courtroom, and you're going to hear people like myself and certainly the forensic pathologists. They're going to sit there and they're going to talk about how brutal these killings were. They're going to talk about stab wounds as well as incised wounds. We know of one victim that her hand was cut down allegedly to her tendons. So this is the height of brutality. And I can understand why they're worried about this, the defense that is, because when it's revealed, it is going to shock the court. And I think probably to a certain extent shock all of us as well. We don't know the full extent yet.
You know, Joe Scott, when I think about the victim, one of them waking up and saying, somebody's here, you know, they're groggy. These 4 Moscow students, Idaho University students, waking up and groggy and confused. I could no more fight off an armed killer at 4 o'clock in the morning than the man in the moon. But this guy, the killer, was awake and alert, dressed in black, wearing a mask, after surveilling them for the Lord only knows how long, for just the right night, just the right moment, just the right minute, and then slashed them to death in that groggy, nocturnal, somnambulant state that they were in. Joe Scott, they couldn't fight back.
Yeah, their pain centers would have been firing, and that would have been the first. Well, they probably would have felt the weight, and then their pain centers would have been firing.
Their pain centers start firing. What do you mean?
Well, every time this, and keep in mind the weapon that they're talking about, Nancy, is a K-bar, and the length of this blade is, listen to me now, 7 inches in length, 7 inches of steel, okay, that you're talking about. So we're talking about stab wounds, which people understand is where a blade is inserted, and we're also talking about incised wounds, allegedly, where things are sliced.
What's that?
Well, let's just think about, and the way I compare it when I teach my students is we'll take actually a piece of fruit and take a knife and draw it across the surface of it. And depending upon how much pressure is applied, that correlates to the depth of the injury. Now you've got individuals here that are living, they're aware of this, and there's going to be a lot of twisting and turning. That's why every time this knife is introduced into their body onto any surface.
Okay, slow down. I'm trying to take it in. You got me drinking from the fire hydrant. Twisting and turning. What does that have to do with anything? Of course, they're trying to get away, and they're.
Yeah, but it's also the pain. It's the response. That's why I said the response to the pain centers firing. Because, I mean, just think about it. Even if you're in a groggy state, once those receptors are firing, it's going to your brain. The first thing you want to do is like a bee sting. You want to try to get away from it. Well, just imagine this happening to you over and over and over again. And so that gives you an idea. And I like the way you painted this, how they're in this kind of groggy state. It's dark. I don't know about you, like sleep in a dark bedroom, can't sleep with a lot of light. And also one other thing, it would have taken them maybe a bit more time to respond. There's some indication that they may have all been out that night. I think that we kind of understand that. Alcohol may have been imbibed. So that's going to be a factor too in their ability to respond and to defend themselves, Nancy.
Just thinking about what you are saying. You said something about pain receptors. firing. I'm trying to understand what that means, them getting out of bed and they're totally out of it. And the first thing they register is intense, unbelievable pain from being stabbed repeatedly with a 7-inch blade. As you said, 7
No
inches.
crap.
of
Come on,
steel.
Nancy. We know that.
Yes.
You say the pain receptors start firing. I guess that means they're brought to screams, to tears out of the pain. Is that what that means?
Yes, absolutely. It's a reactive event. It's very primal. And here's the other thing that people might not be aware of. We have 2 people in each room that were attacked. So there would be an awareness, perhaps, obviously, of the first person that's being attacked, of their pain centers firing. And then the other person, if they are able to, if they're coming out of this grogginess, they're going to hear a sound and it'll be reactive. The trick is, and you have to understand this, they couldn't react quick enough either, even though someone else was initially stabbed.
To Dr. Bethany Marshall, jumping off what Professor Joseph Scott Morgan has just told us, think about it. Where's Bethany? Bethany, the defense gets, with all of this in mind, the pain. I'd rather endure it myself than think my child lived through what these 4 lived through. Now think about it. The parents of these poor victims have had to hear about, he wants a laptop. He wants more visits with his priest and his lawyer. He wants a special diet. He wants alone time. He wants exercise. He wants internet access. I mean, does it never end? And they have to go to bed every night thinking about their children and their pain receptors and being ripped to shreds by the killer.
And this is the problem with trials with these psychopaths like Bryan Kohberger. Not only do they get off on the crime, the infliction of pain, the stealth, the whole activity that the crime is planned out to give him the utmost satisfaction and sexual pleasure, but now he's in court and the crime is being relived. It's being talked about. He's being shown images of it. Who knows underneath that flat affect what he's really feeling and thinking? It could be sexual excitement. It could be a thrill. It could be, like we saw with Rex Heuermann, who called the victims' families, sort of this satisfaction that the family members are sitting there and now they have to live through it. So this is the re-victimization and the re-traumatization that the family's going to go through. Nancy, trauma doesn't just come from us being hurt. Trauma is when you see that a loved one has been hurt. It's really witnessing the pain and the suffering of the other, not the self. And I think about these victims. I think what happened in that night too, besides the pain centers being activated, is that they were extremely disoriented and they were in a bed. There was no place to go. It was dark. And for any of your viewers have been in a car accident or some construction accident, at first you have no idea what's happening. And that's part of a trauma too, is that there's a sudden intrusion of something that's completely unanticipated and for which there's no frame of reference.
Prosecutors plan to seek the death penalty for the accused Idaho student's murderer.
The question of where the Bryan Kohberger trial will commence will be answered by the Idaho Supreme Court. Under Idaho court rules, judges who grant motions to move trials can indicate if they want to remain on the case. Judge John Judge did not do so in his order, instead granting the motion under a rule that provides for a new judge to be assigned. It is not clear when the Idaho Supreme Court will assign a new venue or a new judge, and the question of whether these changes will force a delay in the trial date is unclear.
And again, Oscar Wilde said it the best. Be careful what you ask, my dear, for you will surely get it. So they get a new venue. Fine. I would have been surprised if that had not been granted in a case of this magnitude and of this publicity. But that also means a new judge. And I got to tell you, there were judges I would actually cringe when I would find out my case was assigned to that judge. They would be extremely defense-oriented. Possibly, the judge had been a public defender their whole life and then got appointed to the bench and just really hated the state. not me, not anybody, not a witness on my side, just had a bias against the state. And I would hate it. Or you'd have a rude judge, a horrible judge, a hateful judge. They're on the bench too. So you might have, let me just say, I had one judge, so smart, I will not reveal his name. And he would sit back in his chambers with his law clerk, and they would drink tea imported from Great Britain with china, the very delicate china. We'd all be in the courtroom waiting. And the judge would be drinking tea, talking about, I don't want to go out there. It's just not fun anymore. Fun my rear end. Get up on the bench and do your duty. Yes. So it's like, have you ever been at the fair and you pay 10 cents for the grab bag and you poke your hand and you pull something out? That's what you're getting. It's also called a pig and a poke. You don't know what you're getting out of that bag, and you might just get a pig, which is something you may not want. So they're getting the change of venue. But who will the judge be? Straight out to Chris McDonough. He's been in front of plenty of judges. He's now the star of The Interview Room on YouTube, and you can find him at coldcasefoundation.org. And he's got all these accolades for a reason. Former homicide investigator, and handled around 300 homicide scenes. Chris McDonough, the judge can make all of the difference. I've had a butt chewing by so many judges held in contempt. You name it. You don't want that judge.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that judge for sure, Nancy. And, the family doesn't want that judge either. And in this situation, what I think one of the things we have to take a look at is the frustration that the family has because the judge now has recused himself and said, hey, you know what, because of these other reasons, I'm going to pull out of this as well and give you somebody else. Well, that's a big win for the defense, in my opinion. I've been in that circumstance where, you think everything's going well, and next thing you know it, you are in front of this new guy. And what was interesting, his ruling on page 16 of his ruling, he said a reasonable likelihood.
I don't agree with Chris. This is going to affect Ann Taylor bad. She's been getting her way with Judge John Judge. She's not going to get her way anymore.
County is going to escape international news coverage, but fine. I'd be mad if you didn't. Go ahead.
Yeah, and then he brings in the logistics arguments, right? Well, I have to think, how long has he been thinking about this? That there aren't enough deputies, there aren't enough clerks, the jurors could be tainted. Has it been over a year? And if so, why didn't he pull the trigger earlier? That's one of the things that I have to question, this judge about this ruling for that reason alone.
If the judge grants a change of venue, will Bryan Kohberger face a more conservative jury? How would travel to a new location affect proceedings?
Well, there have been a lot of high-profile venue changes. Let me give you a few I came up with last night. Well, Simpson, of course, got moved, and that resulted in a not guilty. The Rodney King case moved. Timothy McVeigh didn't make a difference. Oh, gosh, I was just looking at colleges with the twins in D.C., and I was telling them about the Beltway snipers. Remember them? The sharpshooters, Lee Boyd Malvo and John Allen Muhammad, and how I would fly to D.C. to do the Larry King show 2 or 3 times a week, and people would be afraid to even leave the parking lot, leave the airport to go to their cars. Everyone was in so much fear of the snipers, the DC snipers. Then, of course, there's Scott Peterson. Don't want to leave him out of any murder discussion. His venue was changed to Redwood City. Lacey was killed, we believe, in Modesto. Oh, there he is. There he is. Great shot. And it got moved to Redwood City. I know it very well because I lived there for about 4 months during the trial. Then there's Fred Tokars. May he rot in hell. He murdered his wife. And his 2 children were in the back seat. One of them said, Mommy's head blew up like a pumpkin. His case was actually moved from Atlanta to Birmingham, a different state. because it's a federal case. That's not true here. It's going to be moved somewhere in Idaho. Then you've got John Wayne Gacy. Now, that had a different twist. Gacy's trial was not moved, but the jury was moved. They brought in jurors from another jurisdiction. Then there's Justin Ross Harris. Okay, he just got reversed. He left his child, baby Cooper, in the car, and Cooper died while he was sexting underage teens about sex. His case was moved from Cobb County in metro Atlanta to Savannah, as I recall, on the coast. Kristen Smart, that case was moved. And of course, we always bring up Lori Vallow. Her case was moved to Ada County near Boise. Long story short, she didn't get the death penalty for other reasons. Her prophet husband did after his case was moved. So there is a long and rich history of changing venues, and very often it has no effect on the outcome of the case. But I, contrary to what a lot of people are saying, support judge, because in the end, if there is a conviction, God willing, there will be a true verdict. This is one less grounds of appeal. I want to talk about something we observed in court. No matter what the topic is, Kohberger remains with a flat affect. Listen.
Years before he allegedly murdered 4 college students, Bryan Kohberger talks of having no real feelings, that he feels nothing when he looks at his own family, going so far as to say, quote, "As I hug my family, I look into their faces, I see nothing. It is like I am looking at a video game, but less." From any teenager, that would be a sad, scary comment. But coming from Kohberger at age 16, from someone suspected of multiple homicides just 10 years later, maybe it's a warning.
As I hug my family, I'll look into their faces, I see nothing. It's like I'm looking at a video game, but less. Of course, I'm going to go to Dr. Bethany Marshall, but first to Howard Bloom, author of, as of right now, the definitive book on Bryan Kohberger. It's called When the Night Comes Falling, a Requiem for the Idaho Student Murders. And I've got to tell you, I read every word, and you had so much evidence and so many facts that many people, including myself, didn't know. And it was really illuminating, Howard, very illuminating. I want to talk to you about this flat affect we see no matter what's happening in court. I'm wondering if they're going to try to school him as to how to act in front of a jury like he has feelings. What do you make of it?
Well, first of all the facts, all the change of venue lead back to one thing, his alibi. And the alibi is so thin, so specious, that he was off stargazing at 4 a.m. in a park where no one could see him on a cloudy night. That's the best they could come up with. So as you say, changing the venue.
Affect. Hold on. You know what my old co-anchor, Johnny Cochran, God rest his soul, he had Simpson, O.J. Simpson, act engaged in court. And when he couldn't act engaged, he had him doodle like he was taking legal notes. This is what he was writing, I'm pretty sure. But I can't prove that since Cochran has gone on to the great beyond and Simpson's dead. I know where he is, hell. But my point is, I'm trying to get to his affect, Howard Bloom. His affect. It never changes. I mean, did you see the video of him when he got pulled over by a cop? Let's see it. Go ahead, Howard.
Well, he stares straight ahead. He almost looks, he's totally detached. What he has done is change his wardrobe. He had pomades his hair now for court. For the last court hearing was the first time he didn't wear a tie, open neck shirt. But usually he wears a suit and a tie. He looks very proper and then stares straight ahead. When Ann Taylor comes up to him, on times she puts her arm around him, maternally even, and he does not budge. He seems as if he's already been drugged. Who knows? His state seems very controlled, almost catatonic.
He's not drugged, Howard. That's his affect. Dr. Bethany Marshall. Look, I don't know if you can see this video.
This is not freaking like, this is not play pretend, Howard Blum.
He's basically schooling this lady traffic officer on what she did wrong. Hello?
Okay, Nancy, he has what I call dead eyes, and sociopaths do. It's like there is nothing there. Flat affect
That's
is
just
one of
Kohberger.
the 20 features of psychopathy. That is one of the signs when you do a full assessment. They don't feel anything. They don't feel attachment. They don't feel love. They don't feel joy. The only thing they can feel is cruelty and the thrill of killing other people. So power and sadism seem to be the only thing that they can feel. And they have something, Nancy, called alexithymia. That means that they use the same words you and I would use, like, oh, I'm happy. Oh, I was with my family. But the words don't have the depth of meaning for them. And this is not like, let's say, someone who's traumatized, so they dissociate and they cut off from their feelings. This is much more primary and biological. This means he was born this way without affect or internal experience.
As a teen, Bryan Kohberger makes posts in a forum website, Tapatalk. Kohberger talks about visual snow, a condition that causes one's vision to be obscured by floating dots, adding he struggles with the constant thought of suicide.
Danette Jean Elg reports to police she has a prowler. Days later, her mutilated body is found on her punctured waterbed. Danette suffers 15 stab wounds, but did manage to inflict injury on her attacker, Richard Albert Levitt. After killing Danette, Levitt removed her sexual organs, then goes to the emergency room for his own wounds. Levitt's blood at the scene becomes part of the evidence that convicts Levitt, and he is sentenced to death. Levitt spends nearly 30 years on death row before the sentence is carried out by lethal injection, June 12, 2012.
Change of venues don't always help killers. To Stephanie Pitcher joining us, high-profile lawyer out of this jurisdiction, working with Parker and McConkel. What do you make of it, Stephanie? I'm sure you've tried cases where the venue was changed, or in the alternative, you bus in jurors from another jurisdiction. They have to stay sequestered in a hotel, but that way, hundreds of personnel and witnesses don't have to be bused to another jurisdiction, just the jurors. What is your experience on that? And do you believe it makes a difference?
Yeah, I have tried cases where the venue has been changed. And, by and large, I find that the outcome is unchanged. The defense, in this case, gets the benefit of having a larger pool of jurors, but the evidence doesn't change. The witnesses don't change. Certainly, there's more space at the courtroom to accommodate witnesses and media and things like that. The bottom line is the evidence doesn't change.
That is the bottom line. I think the only way the evidence will be affected that goes before the jury is because of the change of judge and what evidence the new judge will allow in. We wait for justice for the University of Idaho victims. Nancy Grace signing off. Goodbye.
She said, goodbye, friend. Well, that was Nancy's take on it. I thought maybe she'd have a little more fire in her. She kind of does, but I wanted to show you guys that podcast. So it'll probably come out on video in the next few days on YouTube. So if you see it again, that's why. But you guys are all amazing. I was reading the chat. You guys are all amazing. This is like usually whenever I come on, if like there's not like a whole lot of people like in chat, we usually have a full 45, 50 people that are always here, it seems like. Some of y'all just be listening in. That's fine too. I appreciate everything. Mary Beth, that's very sweet. You guys are a really good group of people. Is Squeaky in here? I didn't see Squeaky tonight. We do have a really good group of people though. Yeah, I'd be taken up if I ever needed to for you guys. I'd be like, don't you dare be touching them peoples. No, I'm always the one that does that. You guys do. You guys care about each other. And that's like, it's really nice to see that in a chat. It's really, really nice. It's nice that I can come in here and do a live and I don't have to be like, everybody watch out for the trolls. I mean, could you imagine that? That would be awful. Like if you had to like worry about that every night, shoot. If they come in, we welcome them. I try to be friends with most of them, but some of them don't want to be friends with me. Babs being one of them. There was one lady. I wish we could go back. I mean, I have the live. It's out there. I just got to find it. I bet if I reached out to someone, they would know exactly where it's at. But I did a live and me and this one lady got like we got into like a screaming match. It was over Idaho. It was on my panel. Oh, it was a good live, let me tell you. I think my head was going to like explode. We are free of trolls and it is nice. I like that that no one even really bothers us over here. Nashville's probably really nice. Nash Native. I would love to come to Nashville. I think that'd be really fun. I'd like just to come to Tennessee. I've been wanting to come to Tennessee so bad. I don't know why. I just do. I want to go to Tennessee. I've been saying that for like the last like year. Just want to go and like go in the mountains or something. Do something fun. I guess Nashville's not really in the mountains. We'd have to come out of the mountains. But I don't mind going on a plane. I like flying. I don't know now with all the Boeing planes and they're like that's the flight. I think that they were coming through like Delta or something, and that's who we take. It was like, oh, I'm not really afraid of planes though. I actually had an interview one time and I had like, it was in a different state and I had to fly there and then go to the interview and then fly home. And it was really weird and hectic. And it was just like, I don't know, but I liked it. And I'm usually not by myself at an airport. I usually have Vincent. We fly in to LAX every year, but I guess that airport is huge. I don't see the airport we don't see it. I don't know what happens to us, but when we get there, we pop out and we're right where luggage is. Like right when we walk off the plane, there's your luggage and there's the door. Bye. Like, you know what I mean? You don't see like little shops or anything. Like you think you're going to see like a celebrity or something because you're in LAX. You're like, where's the celebs? You don't see nobody. Just looks like a regular airport. And then we fly back. I think we fly out of Cincinnati. So like Cincinnati airport. And that one's pretty big too, but that one is like small. Like as we walk in and it's like, boop, there's Delta. And then you just go, there's the store, like there's little shops. And then there's like, I don't know. It just seems like it's very, very small, except for actually that one we have to get on a tram. So I guess that one's not too small. Lenore, where are you from? You're from Pennsylvania, aren't you? Let me not forget now. Yeah, Ladybug. Yeah, they don't really come around. And everyone takes up for me, it seems like, if anyone tries to mess with me. I love that. I love when people do that. Because people be trying to mess with me sometimes. They'll be like, don't mess with me over here. Don't be messing with me over here. Get my cat after you. My cat's been on this desk like every day the last couple of days. Like, he's not in here tonight. I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised because the door's kind of open. The dogs are just sleeping so good. I should take a picture of them. I think I need to get Mia a bigger bed. Like, I feel so bad for her. She's in an extra large bed, but her head's like hanging off the bed. You need a bigger bed, Mimi. I call her Mimi because of Alec Murdaugh with his paw crap. And that's where it started. Speaking of Alec Murdaugh, did you see that Nancy Grace did a video? I don't know if it was a video or if it's just a podcast right now, but she did one over Alec and it was like, is he going to get away with, is he going to get like, I don't know. She made it seem like he was going to get away with this crap. Right here, 9 hours ago. This like when I did the Alec Murdaugh series from like the Fox Nation one, those are like some of my best videos. They were still raking like in as like my third top, like because you see your three top videos. It was like ranking in as one of my free like most watched videos. Just recently, it came off. I mean, and we covered that case, what, a year and a half ago? So the new title is Alec Murdaugh, Major Twist, Double Killer to Walk Free. And I don't know what's been up with Nancy the last few days, but her outfits have been cute. Like, I don't know what's going on with her, but she's looking real cute. Real cute. Do you want to hear something that is like exciting to me? Probably just only to me. And only, yeah, it's probably me. Well, I went into Target the other day and I've been telling Vincent, like, I bought these shirts there. I'm like, I love these shirts. They're just basic shirts. They're like the best basics I've ever had. And I walk into Target like the other day and they have it in, their like new clothes are out and they have it in every single color. This one basic shirt that I really like. And I'm one of those people that I buy it in every color. So I'm like, look at all the colors. So that's something for me to look forward to. Figured I'd tell you that. I don't know why. I think it's because I just saw the picture in my phone. Let me see if there's anything else we need to tell you about Bryan. Probably not. Wonder how the Bryan's Girls is going over there on Reddit. Let's see. Bryan's Girls, Reddit. Why do I not see it? Maybe they took it down. That's weird. Usually, like if I, just like Google Google search it, it'll come right up. Here, maybe this is it. Oh, they banned it. Y'all, they banned it. They did. Where's Ozzy? Ozzy, if you hear this, comment below. Because me and her were in the secret group before it was a public group. We actually got in the back office of this place. Okay. This subreddit was banned due to a violation of Reddit's rules against posting violent content. What? It only took them, a year and a half? Bryan's Girls was a subreddit. Well, I'm not even up here. Okay. So Bryan's Girls was a subreddit on Reddit. And me and Ozzy, one of our subscribers, we got into the backside of Bryan's Girls. So they banned the first Bryan's Girls, Bryan. That when you spell it like Bryan, like that. So these girls came and they made this new subreddit and they spelled it like this so that people wouldn't catch on. Well, one day I was researching for Idaho and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I seeing right now? Because the subreddit came up. So I asked to join it and they let me join it for a while. Well, I got some screenshots and stuff. Well, then all of a sudden I was banned from it. And I was like, oh man, they found out who I was. Well, then they opened it up to the public and we were publicly looking at the pictures. Now it's banned. Completely banned. Oh, wow. I don't want to browse other communities. I wanted to browse that community. That's crazy. Well, we all know who the one person was that was running it. I forget her name now. Bryan's Babe or something. Baby Bri or something. Was that it? Yeah, someone be snitching. Who snitched? Yeah, who's in here? Who was in here like a Bryan and snitched on me? That's crazy. I didn't know they banned the community. Dang. Okay, well, fine then. We didn't want to see you. No way. Fine then. We should maybe watch the Alec Murdaugh one though. That's one. I don't know. That's pretty intriguing. Yeah, so it was like Bryan. I want to call it Baby Bri or something like that was her name. Ozzy would know. And she was like the only person really posting in it. And she appeared to be very young. Like very young. Like we went through it one day and you guys put her at you guys thought she was like 15, 16 young. Like the way that she was posting things, her words and verbiage. I'm not good at knowing that kind of stuff, but you guys all did. No, those aren't Bryan's women. Yeah, Bryan's Girls. Yeah. So yeah, they took it down. Wow. I mean, that's good that they took it down, but it was kind of entertaining. Entertaining. Because it was just that one girl just, posting. I don't know. Has dog been on? No. I was looking to see. They haven't caught that guy yet either. Oh, and guess what? I guess the lawyer and Nick the Hat's going to go on Jennifer Coffindaffer on Friday, maybe. I don't know. But I know that Jennifer put the dog and Nick the Hat was going to be on there. But on Nick the Hat's, on his Twitter, it says that him and the lawyer are going to be on there. Doesn't say nothing about dogs. So I'm wondering if dog's really going to show up or if he's pulling her leg, and I don't know, but we'll see. We'll be there for it. We'll be there. Baby Bri. Yeah, I think that's what they called it. Yeah, I can't believe they have a $5,000 reward on this guy. Joseph Couch is 5'10", 154 pounds. You ain't that big. You're a little guy. I wonder, what's DA, District Attorney Linda Stanley, who failed to prosecute Barry Morphew, has been disbarred by a branch of the Colorado Supreme Court. This decision refers to her dereliction of duties, saying she abused her position of trust and as a minister of justice. It says the Republican district attorney who botched the murder and prosecution of Barry Morphew, then investigated the judge who ruled against her, can no longer serve as DA after being disbarred. Ooh. Are they going to... Oh, what's this? 6 hours ago, breaking in an 83-page opinion, the state board, which regulates attorney conduct, has disbarred former Morphew prosecutor Linda Stanley. Okay, more to come after I go through this. Oh, man. We cover Suzanne's case. Well, that's a step in the right direction, but I mean, what are we going to do? They literally have nothing to go on, I feel like. You know what I mean? It's like a he said, she said in this situation, and she can't talk. And the children are even standing by his side. His girls. That's the saddest thing of all. To have to that's terrible. I feel so bad for Suzanne Morphew. I wonder if Nancy will cover this. I'm probably pretty sure she will. She's been covering that case. She even has a Suzanne Morphew t-shirt or something. Trump claims, I guess, he took a bullet for criticism. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Well, that's all I got for you guys, really. Yeah, I know, Ladybug. I have heard them too, but I think if we just keep it to I'm going to keep it to a password protected, kind of a room. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to have Vincent help me with it. I've been looking at Discord all day, not all day, but throughout the day. I created a room, and I think it's private, but I don't know how to add people. So we'll figure it out. I figured Vincent will help me because I think he's been on Discord. I think he said he has one or something, he gets on there. I don't know. I don't know what he'd be doing on that computer. If we traded computers, he would probably be like, what have you been looking at? And I'd be like, oh, you're boring. He's probably not looking at nothing fun. But thank you guys for being here tonight. I do appreciate it. If you missed our live from earlier today, we did a live earlier this afternoon about Betty, going to court and all that stuff. So she does have to go back to court on October 10th at 11 a.m. for the 4 protection orders or for the violations of those. So we'll see if she violates it anymore. You post smart in a picture. I know I'm not very good at this stuff. I've never done a I've never done a Discord before, so I'm like, ooh, I was looking at it today and I'm like, this looks confusing. But I think it's just one of those things like you have to get used to. It's kind of like Yahoo Chat, I feel like. But once I get the hang of it, I'll be like ASL, you know? On a turnpike. Oh, the Kentucky shooter. Okay. Oh, wow. Another one in Kentucky? I wonder if something's going on out there. Well, maybe what we'll do for the Discord is we'll do like I'll show you guys like on a live. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll pull it up and we'll do like a members live or something. And I can show you how to get into the Discord and I can show you how to like, you know, get into the conversation if you want to. And then that way, if you guys are just, wanting to chit chat about a case or there's something going on, like that, you see like that, I don't know, if you see something and you're like, hey, I think, Tanya should see this, maybe send it through there and then I might be able to get it faster too. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I haven't seen anything on, let me go back to X, go up to the top. Let's see. I don't see anything yet. Let's see. Okay, nope. Man, they're really going low with the politics, Well, I don't know about, okay, so Harris compares January 6th to 9/11. That was probably not a good idea, especially since today's the 10th. Trump mixes up Virginia and West Virginia. Sorry. Trump claims he took a bullet for criticism. It's just if you just get on Twitter, it's funny. Like the trending topics are just funny. Just when you read them and you don't put any substance into it, you just are here to laugh. It's funny, It's like, oh my gosh, it's just you just have to. It's one of those things you just have to laugh about. It's so embarrassing. Don't compare January 6th to 9/11. Yeah, don't do that. That wasn't a good idea. I don't know. Oh, I'll have to listen to it. Oh man. I feel like people need to be fed their answers or their questions a little better. How are them babies doing, them grandbabies? I bet they're getting big. I bet you they're like are so much bigger now. You'll have to tell us all about it. Oh, that's so sweet, Ladybug. That's very sweet of you guys to send Cheryl thanks for her baby shower. I know a lot of you guys reached out and did that, or a few of you guys did. And that's very, very, very kind. That's so kind. I mean, that's very kind, especially because she lives in a different country, It's like, wow, you guys are just, you're really kind to each other. Yeah, she could help. Let's say, I always have Vincent too. He's pretty good at that stuff. Well, that's good, Mary Beth. Oh, well, I'm glad you guys have each other. Nash said, let her know if you need anything. Oh, that's so sweet. I got my best friend for her baby shower. Oh man, it was bad. I went all out. There was like 2 towers like of gifts. They were probably like every bit of like 5 foot. Like they were like almost falling over. There were so many gifts. I couldn't help myself. But I got her this like ceramic elephant and it had a little silver nose and it had his name in the side of it. And it says Asher in silver and it's so cute. If you guys want some good baby shower gifts or wedding gifts. Things Remembered is always a good little shop to go to. It's called Things Remembered. They personalize everything there. I don't know. I like it. I don't really watch a lot of true crime, it seems like. Watch more drama. Just because, I don't know. I don't know why I do, but I do. Because I'm like nosy as hell. That's why I watch it. What are you talking about, Tanya? That's why you watch it. You're nosy. You want to know what's going on. I do. I like to know what's going on. I like to be in the know. Oh, look at this. Well, we could have watched that, but that's okay. It's just that I'm talking about Kohberger. But I think that's all I got for you guys. I was trying to see. Wow. Megyn Kelly has 139,000 people watching her right now. That's insanity. I don't know. Like, I think that if I had that many people in here, I don't know. I'd probably do really well, actually, because the more people we have, the better I do, I feel like. You don't have a Things Remembered anymore? We don't have one here anymore, but we have one in this city. So, like, I live outside of the city. We used to have one, like, right beside us pretty much at the mall, but we don't have one there anymore. So we have to go, like, to another one. But I haven't been in one in a while, but I need to go. Vincent doesn't like it when I go there. He's like, uh-oh, we're getting something. Because I just think it's so cute. Oh, cake of diapers. That would have been a cute idea. I would have done that if it would have been like closer to now. You know what I mean? Like, that's a cute idea. I don't know anybody that's pregnant right now, I don't think. Nope, I don't. But yeah, it was so funny. Like, our friends walked in and they were like, okay, who did these gifts? We're not, like, one of our friends didn't even wrap her gift because she was so pregnant too. She was like, here. And I'm like, we were all just laughing because she was so pregnant too. She didn't want to wrap a gift. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? I would have done it. Because I love wrapping gifts. Even though I'm not very good at it. I like it. I used to do it on the side. So I can't say I'm not that good at it. People have paid me to wrap their gifts before, so. But I'm going to jump off here. I'll be back on tomorrow. I'm not sure if I'll do a day, but I mean, day live, but I might actually. We might do something during the day. I want to see if, like, what our girl Betty has to say. I'm pretty sure she was live earlier. Let me see. Maybe not. 2 hours ago, yep. With Jailhouse Betty. It says, I hope she had some drinks today with lunch or whatever dinner. That'd be nice. We'll have to check that out tomorrow. That'd be pretty funny. Jailhouse Betty. Oh, it's like, she makes it sound like almost like she's like a Barbie. Almost like, like Barbie used to have like Skipper and you like in the different renditions of a Barbie. She's not. Jailhouse Betty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, if I have it, I'll send it to you. And let me see. I'm going to type that out. Okay. I wrote it out so I wouldn't forget. All righty. Well, I'm going to jump off of here. What's this? Like stuff I don't need. That's what I'm looking at right now. The iPhone 16 just came out, or it's getting ready to come out, or it just came out. And I don't know if y'all saw that phone, but we're going back down to 2 cameras. Or 2 like lenses. So I could have just kept my iPhone 8 Plus and had the same phone. Pretty much is the phone that's coming out now, I feel like. It's just thicker. So I don't know. I usually try to get like the new phone every few years. And I don't even want that thing. I'm cool. I'll just keep my iPhone 13 or whatever this thing is. This big phone. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I don't get it. They say it's better though. But thank you guys for being here today. I really appreciate you so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow on the live. And if I don't see you, have a wonderful Wednesday, hump day, getting there to the end of the week. Hopefully we'll all survive to the end of this week. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a great evening and good night.